Hey guys, it's Jen. So this week we're going to talk about a topic that I've kind of been seeing all over social media. Also, this is a question I've been asked on Facebook or my Instagram. I also did a little poll to see if this was a concerning topic, and it was. It was probably the most voted topic I asked about. So that's why I really want to talk about it because it's a pretty difficult decision on what you should do. And I'm referring to is if you need a trainer, and that's the topic of this video. Do you need one, or should you have one forever or a little bit? And we're really going to discuss that, especially if you're new to the gym and you have no freaking idea what you're doing, or if you've been into the gym for a while and you're not really sure if you should spice things up. This is a really good video for you. Or if you're just kind of getting more knowledge, I think anyone can benefit this video. It's just very important to work out. And if you don't know what to do, if you need one, well, stay tuned and I'll let you know. Now, first, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of having a trainer. And number one is they're educated. Most of them, unless some aren't, but most of them usually have some sort of education. A lot of them have a degree. There's a few that are certified, and unfortunately, there are some who don't have any certification, but they've been in the industry for a while. I guess I'll put that in a con in a second. But the pro, most of them have an education, and which goes to my number two is they're gonna help you with your form. You could be working out for years, which happened to me, and you'll have no idea if you're doing the workout wrong, and you are doing it wrong, and you won't get any results. So 3 years doing the same freaking exercise with no benefits at all. That kind of sucks. I remember when I was trying to do squats and deadlifts for years, I didn't know I was doing it wrong, especially for my squats. I would put the emphasis on my quads, and you do not want to put the emphasis there. You want to make sure you're actually putting the emphasis in your heels so you actually focus more on your hamstrings. And I didn't know that in the beginning. So having a trainer for that reason, they're educated, they know a lot more than you do, and they'll be able to help you out with your workouts, especially for meal plans, especially if you have trouble burning fat or if you have a weird metabolism. They'll know how many calories you actually need, and you can always fight them on this, but it's always just good to know what you actually need because we think we need this many and we're wrong. I thought I was eating right, and then when I had a trainer, I realized I needed more calories. So you never know, you actually might need more food than you think. And the other good thing with trainers, they do help you a lot with networking. Like, especially for myself who was competing, I was able to meet a lot of girls in my industry that I could relate to and talk to, though you don't need a trainer for that. However, they do expose you to a lot of other people. And sorry, I have the list kind of written here. They also help kind of just keep you motivated. They'll kind of kick your bum, and sometimes they'll give you a text saying, "We're going to work out," when you do not want to. And trust me, I've had days where I didn't want to work out. So they're really there for you. They want to make sure you're at your goals. They're going to push your bum if you're having a bad day. And they just know almost everything. Now, the cons are if you're trying to find a trainer, sometimes there are a lot of them aren't certified, and that kind of makes me feel very uncomfortable knowing that they didn't take their time and effort to get education. Though, if they're experienced, then maybe. So, you always want to research the personal trainers and kind of get referrals or really investigate the person you want to work with. That's just a really bad thing because in the fitness industry, you don't really need much education, which kind of sucks because you are putting a person's life in your hand. And if they really hurt themselves in the gym, it's basically all on you, not on their trainer. Even if they're not there, it's kind of your fault. So it's kind of hard to find a trainer that's reliable and that's going to teach you the right things, because if they're not certified, if something bad happens, well, it's not their fault, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. And number two, sometimes some trainers can be very expensive. I saw really priced packages online, people selling them for $300. And personally, I don't think you need to spend that much. This is a personal preference. I feel like even for myself, I've only had a trainer for a bit then and there, I really benefited not having a trainer for that long. They're just really expensive, but you do need to think they put a lot of time and energy making your workouts and meal plans. Though, if you're a person who can't really afford it, then you really need to think of it. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But you really need to think is, are you able to help this person with their finance? And that's basically where that money's going to. You're helping them live so they can make your workouts for you. And you got to consider that if you want to invest your money with a person. And another thing that I kind of found that I wasn't happy with trainers is they all have their own freaking way of doing a workout. And which is great because, okay, well, it's not great, but it's great for them because they have something that makes them stand out. But then for a person, when you're working out, I've been with different trainers, I've been kind of confused. I'm like, this trainer told me this way, and now you're telling me this way, and you're saying her way wasn't good, and you're saying this way is good, or your way is not good. I don't know. So that's just a little frustrating where people are telling you, oh, that way is wrong. And when you're a person who just really wants to work out and wants to do it right, and when a trainer tells you that, it's kind of frustrating. And it's just like, you know what? I just want to work out. Like, kind of get your facts together or get into a group and talk about what you're doing because you're going to piss off a lot of people. And I think that's more for trainers. Not have too many things that make you stand out just because a lot of people will not be happy with that. And especially for myself, trying to find a trainer, you're going to probably experience that. So just be careful. I'm trying to make sure I went through all that. I guess another thing that's kind of a con with a personal trainer, I know if they're not helping you compete or anything, sometimes they don't have a lot of focus on you. That's just because they're really busy. But when you need a meal plan or if you have a trip going and they're making you wait, that's kind of frustrating that you just gave them a lot of money and now they're just kind of taking their time. I don't know if those cons are helping, but that's just my experience and what I've heard from others. So it's good and bad. And now I'm just going to talk about the pros and cons of not having a trainer. A lot of people might like this a little bit better. The pros of not having a trainer, it's definitely not that expensive. You can either work out at home or go to a gym, do a sport. There's a lot of exercises you can find online that are actually pretty doable and pretty decent to give you good results. And which is really nice because you don't always want to rely on a trainer. You want to learn what works for you, because if you have a trainer for the rest of your life, that's going to be a lot of money gone in your pocket. So I think the pro is really inexpensive, and two, it's a lot of self-development, self-learning. You get to have the time to read books, trying to figure out what's a really good method, which ones are actually out of date, so you can know for yourself what's really accurate, because trainers might say something so they can get you results, such as for yourself, if you do the right research, such as just going to a library, maybe reading some scholarly papers, you'll know if you're doing things right or if you should actually do this type of technique. So that's definitely a good pro to think of. Really, it's cheap. You kind of learn about yourself. There are some cons of not having a trainer, and I think that was kind of mentioned about having a trainer. Again, you don't really know about your form, and I know I'm emphasizing a lot about form, but form is probably the one of the best ways that's going to give you results. You want to have a good amount of weight, but form's just going to kill it. So you kind of, without a trainer, the cons are, well, you might suffer your results or you might kind of get injured. Also, I can't really find another con of not having a trainer. I just think it's just really the form of it. But having a trainer is inexpensive. You get to learn on yourself. And now the end result I'm going to talk about in a second is, do you need a trainer? My result is kinda. And what do I mean by kinda? If you're very new to working out, and this kind of depends on your budget, I would start off with a really good trainer by doing your research. I'm only suggesting this because there are a lot of ways, and if you find the right trainer, they will probably give you a good amount of help of if you're doing a technique right, what you should be eating. And they'll kind of just give you the knowledge that you need to start off. They'll give your motivation and they'll help you with books. But I wouldn't have a trainer for that long. I would say maybe 1 or 2 sessions, or if they do it monthly, just for a month or so. And then for yourself, you will need to learn on your own um, the workouts that you should continue doing and the meal plans, and then kind of just more working out on your own. You don't want to live off a trainer forever. It's just expensive, and then it kind of just seems forced, and then working out's not really fun, and then you can't really experiment. So I think having a trainer in the beginning and then kind of figuring it out on your own is probably the best way, so you have a way better start and you're not struggling for years thinking, oh, did I do this right or wrong? Only having a trainer for a month isn't too bad. That's only my suggestions. Please let me know if this helped you, if you should get a trainer or not. There's so many opinions on this. With my experience, I think they definitely help for a little bit, but please keep your independence. And let me know in the bottom, do you think you need a trainer? And tell me your experience, if you liked having a trainer or if you did not. Also, if you want to watch my progress for my competition that I'm doing in June, please follow my Instagram page. It's called Gen Fit Fanatic. It is going to be in the description box. Please comment, subscribe. Please let me know your experience because I'm very interested to see if I had the same experience as you. All right, we will see you next week.